Hello kids, today we are going to do our bell work located on page 551. This is page 551. This is Mrs. Robertson's math class. We are missing many students today. In first period, class, how many did we have absent today?
7.
We have 7 of you absent in first period alone. We miss you. But we're so glad that you are watching the video to keep caught up with everything that we are doing. So, let's go on. Our bell work was page 551, and all you had to do was complete this chart. You can put it on pause so you can get it caught up. Now that you're back from pause, I want us to focus on this last box here. When a numerical factor contains a variable, the number with the variable is the coefficient. So, for example, if you have 5x, class, which number is the coefficient there? The 5. The 5 is the coefficient. So when a number and a variable are next to each other, the number is called the coefficient. All right? So the coefficient here is the 5x. If I had 2w plus 3, which of those numbers is a coefficient? The 2. Right. Only a number with a variable is a coefficient. Does anyone remember, what do you call a number without a variable? What's the 3 called? It's a constant. The 3, a number without a variable, is called a constant. Okay? Because it's constantly the same value. It's constantly the 3. Okay? It has no variable with it. All right? Okay, now let's go on to our next page, 552. All right, on page 552, solve a multiplication equation. This is really easy, and you're going to like this. I think it's really easier than whenever you are solving addition and subtraction equations. So it says, solve 2x equals 10. Yes, I know you all know the answer is 5, but we're practicing our algebraic technique. So everyone, let's write over here to the right. 2x equals 10. Or 10, yes, not 5. All right. So in this problem here, the first thing you're going to do is undo multiplication. And what will undo multiplication? Division. And in algebra, you show division with a bar. This says divide, divide. So is everyone doing that? In your book, write 2x equals 10. We're on page 552. Then draw a bar underneath each one. And what are we going to divide by? No, that's the answer. Okay, your job is to get the variable all by itself. What's the variable? X. So x has to ditch the 2. To undo multiplying by 2, you are going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. Everyone got that? Draw your line, it cancels it. Okay, put down an equal sign. X equals, what's 10 divided by 2? 5. And circle it. Any questions? Now it wants you to do the check step. All the check step means is you replace the x with the value you have. So the original equation, 2 times x equals 10, you just put 2 times 5. Does that equal 10? Yes, it does. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Any questions? All right, let's go on and look at the next example. In our next example, it says, let me just get the right pages together here. In example 2, it says, solve 3x equals 6. Well, here they have the boxes for you. What are you going to put in each one of those boxes? Your job is to get x all by itself. And what are we going to divide by?
3.
Right. That is correct. X has to be all by itself. So you're going to divide both sides by 3. All right? And then you are going to get 6 divided by 3 is what? 2. Okay? Now we have to do the check step. We're going to have 3. All right. It says the original equation says 3x equals 6. Now you replace the x with a what? A 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. Does 6 equal 6? Yes, it does. Any questions on that? All right, let's go to A, B, and C. Let's do these together. In letter A, to undo multiplication, we divide. Do you see how we show division in algebra? I just showed division, drawing those blanks. You got those drawn, Jackson? Okay, what am I going to divide both sides by, Jackson? 3. You're good at this. X equals what? What's 15 divided by 3? 5. And we have to do the check step. Now, I like circling my answer, and the check step is really easy. Does 3 times 5 equal 15? Yes, it does. See how fast we can do these? All right, let's go on to letter B. Divide, divide. Divide by 4, divide by 4. 2 equals x. Got it? Now our check step. Does 8 equal 4 times 2? Yes, it does. Any questions? Go ahead and do letter C, and I'm going to walk around to make... Okay, so divide, that's the divide, by 2 by 2. No, I'm not, but thank you for checking. X equals 7. Does 2 times 7 equal 14? Yes, it does. All right. Any questions? You all understand it's the process on these, not the little baby answers. All right. Our next page. There's the rule or the property that's called the division property of equality. It just says if you divide both sides by the same number, your equation is still balanced. Here it shows it in algebra. It's just what we've been doing. And what we've been doing is called the division property of equality. Now let's do a word problem. Vincent and some friends shared the cost of a package of blank CDs. The package cost $24 and each person contributed $6. How many people shared the cost of the CDs? Words. Amount each contributed times the number of people equals the cost of the CDs. Then you have to define your variable. Let X represent the number of people that contributed money. Then we have this bar diagram drawn. The whole amount is how much the total cost. It's 24. Okay, the package cost is 24. So that's why that's the full 24. Each person contributed $6. So we know that each person is $6, but we don't know how many of them there are. So your equation is 6 times X equals 24. All right? So that's what they have. 6X equals 24. Divide by 6, divide by 6, X equals 4. I'll be honest, I think the diagram is more confusing than just writing an equation. I probably won't have you draw the diagrams on these. There's another lesson when it is helpful to draw diagrams, but this, I think it made it confusing. All right, so now let's go to letter D. You don't have to draw a diagram for this problem, okay? Let's just write an equation. In 2004, Penn Haddo and Simon Murray walked 680 miles to the South Pole. The trip took 58 days. Suppose they traveled the same distance each day. Write and solve a multiplication equation to find how many miles they traveled each day. Well, I know the total amount is going to be what, kids? So it's going to equal 680. I like putting my amounts on this side. It doesn't matter if you wanted to put 680 on that side, but I like it on this side. So 58 days times x. Okay, I should define what my variable is. Here, x equals miles per day. That tells you how many miles they walked per day. So what does your variable, everyone put, now you didn't have to use x, maybe you wanted to use m. I used x equals miles per day. Now, you all know what to do to solve this equation, don't you? What are we going to do to get the answer to this problem? Yes? We are going to divide by the coefficient 58. Divide both sides by 58. Even if you don't know how to divide, you got part of your points there, okay? But you kids know how to divide. Now we put down x equals our answer. Well, let's see. 680 divided by 58. Let's show our division work. It'll go into that once. Subtract. Bring down. How many 58s are in 100? Only one, right? Subtract 2, 9. Add a decimal point. Bring it down. How many 58s are in a 420? How far do they have us going out on this one, I wonder? On that problem. Oh, it says about. Okay, so that's nice. It's going to be in about, it's going to go into it about 8 times. So it's going to be about, I'm going to round it to 12. So x is approximately 12. Notice how I made that a wiggle line? A wiggle line means it's not exact, it's about. Okay? So it's about 12 miles per day. And it said about. Any questions on that? Okay, let's go to our next page. Example 4. Check your solution. Okay, on these, it's the same thing. Here you divide by the coefficient. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable. Divide both sides by 3.28 and the answer is 6. Okay, because 19.68 divided by 3.28 equals 6. All right? Now, we are going to do E, F, and G. All right? So let's first start with showing how to solve it, and then I will give you the answers for the decimal answers. Okay, we're going to talk about how to divide with decimals. Ready? In letter E. Divide, divide. What are we going to divide them by? What's the coefficient in letter E? So you put a 2.25 underneath this one, a 2.25 underneath that one. You got it? I don't see everyone's pencils moving. Hey, Alex, is your pencil moving? Is it moving or snoozing? Draw your line and cancel, and N equals. Now, let's go up here and show how to divide. 6.75 divided by 2.25. All right. Now, we have to review, how do we divide decimals? We have to move it how many places? 2. 1, 2. Write that down. Don't write it on your hands, write it on your book there, yeah. 1, 2. Put it straight up. How many $2.25 are going to be in 675? Well, it's going to be about 3. Let's see if that comes out right. 225 times 3, carry 1, 6, 7. Perfect. It is going to be 3, and it gets 675. So n equals 3. All right, we're not going to do the check step right now on these because I've got the actual division work there. Are we ready for the next problem? Okay, in this problem, we divide both sides by the coefficient. And Alex, what's my coefficient in letter F? Excellent. 1.7, 1.7. That cancels, and then I'm going to end up with B equals, over here, I'm going to do 8.5. The top number goes in the box, divided by 1.7. Okay, move it once, and put it straight up. That's almost a 2. 2 would go into that 4 times 2.7. Now, let's see, 4. Let's try 5. 1.7 times 5, carry a 3. Yeah, it is going to be a 5. So B equals 5. In the next one, oh, thank you. I wrote down an 8, and the answer is a 5. Now that's correct. Thank you for keeping an eye on things. Next one, we divide both sides by 6.15. That's the coefficient, right? Everyone got that written down? And then y equals, let's see, 5,535 divided by 6.15. Move it twice. And it, let's see, 6 will go into a 50. It'll go into that about 9 times. And I know the answer is 9. 5, carry a 4. 9 plus 4 is 13, carry a 1. 54 plus 1 is 55. So y equals 9. Are there any questions? Okay, let's do the guided practice, and then we're going to do a worksheet for our homework tonight. Ready? Okay, in the guided practice, back to the friendly, easy ones, divide by the coefficient. What are we going to put underneath each side? A 2. No, it's A equals, does your book not have a 2A equals 6? Okay, yeah. So you have to divide by what's in front of the A, and it's a 2, and you get A equals 3. And it does say the check step. Does 2 times 3 equal 6? Yes, it does. There's the check step. In number 2, we're going to divide both sides by the coefficient of 4. It's the number in front of the variable. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 equals C. Does 20 equal 4 times 5? Yes, it does. In this one, we're going to divide each side by what? Speak up. 9.4. 9.4. G equals 28.2 divided by 9.4. Move it once. 9 goes into 28 3 times. Yep, it works. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry a 1. 27 plus 1 is 28. G equals 3. Any questions? Okay, go ahead and do 4 and 5. I'm going to walk around the room and check to make sure you showed 1, 2, and 3 correctly. All right, for those of you who missed out on number 4, the answer, define the variable, the equation 3 times y equals 48, the step divide by 3, you end up with the answer y equals 16 yards. Okay? Now in number 5, I defined my variable d equals CDs. My equation, 18 times d equals 90. Divide both sides by 18, and d equals 5. So the answer is 5. Question 6, how can the division property of equality be used to solve multiplication equations? Division will undo multiplication. Okay? Nice, easy way to put it. Now, for today, we are not doing the problems in the book. I'm going to give you your worksheet. And on the worksheet, you'll like it because I will expect you to do, like in this one, divide by 7, divide by 7. Line up your equal sign. A equals 9. Circle the answer, and then the check step. Does 7 times 9 equal 63? Yes, it does. Now, there are a couple problems like number 11, and I'm going to pause this. Now, 11 and 12 are the only ones on here that have fractions. As I look through there, we're going to do a worksheet on just practicing with fractions later on this week. Now, let's just rewrite this again. 5/6 times k equals 1/6, right? Now, what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. Now, kids, who remembers this? What do you do when you divide in fractions? That's right. We are going to flip this. Now, everyone, watch what I do. You put your parentheses like this on each side. Everyone have the parentheses? We are going to multiply each side by the reciprocal of the fraction in front of the variable. The reciprocal, another name is multiplicative inverse, is 6/5. Now let's put it on this side. We have to put the same number, 6/5. Okay, now we've balanced it. Now let me show you, why did I multiply by 6/5? Because they cancel each other out, and you end up with just your k, which is all you want to end up with. So our answer is going to be k equals 6/31 times 6 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. What will that simplify to? 6 divides 6 and 6 divides 30. 1/5. Okay? Now for the check step. Does 5/6 times my answer 1/5 equal 1/6? Well, let's see. Yeah, it does. The 5's can cancel out and turn into 1's. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 1 is 6. And we have the check step, all right? We'll practice this again later on. Now let's look at number 12. In number 12, we have to change it to an improper fraction. So let's multiply, add, and put it on top. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. 5/3 j equals 15. Any questions on what I just did? Does everyone in here have that written down? Now I'm going to ask you, I have to get j all by itself. What am I going to multiply each side by to get rid of that 5/3? Not 5/3, 3/5. We are going to multiply, put the parentheses on each side, by 3/5. 3/5. So I'm going to put that over a 1. Why? Because they cancel each other out and you end up with j all by itself. Now, I'm going to simplify before I multiply so I don't have as big a numbers. I know 5 will divide 5 once. 5 divides 15 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1, so the answer is J equals 9. Let's do the check step. Does, I'm going to do it below here, 5/3 times 9 over 1 equal 15? Well, I'm going to shortcut. 3 divides 3 once, 3 divides 9 3 times, and 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 1 is 1. Yes, it does. Okay, now I will tell you these problems here are a lot easier than the fraction ones. So go ahead, do both sides of this worksheet, and that is your homework. Have a good day.